Hi, I'm Kizzy from Kizzy Creations and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe if you enjoy my content. So in today's video, I've decided to make a special doll for my sister using the Monster High Draculara doll. So for this inspo, I did have my own ideas, but I ended up asking my sister a lot of questions to see what kind of direction she wanted the creation to go in as well, just to make it more personable for her as well. So I ended up making a marijuana doll that has her features while also having a mythical aspect still. So I'm just gonna let you see what it looks like and how it went. So let's just get into the video, and I hope you guys like, comment, and subscribe. I would love to hear, as always, what you guys are thinking, and I will see you guys in the next video. Later. It seems I have lost footage again. So the first thing that you guys see me doing is rerouting the doll. I put the yarn together where I was able to brush it out, and then I just rerouted the doll with black hair. And just before I rerouted it, I did paint the head black so you wouldn't be able to see the pink underneath. Then I took my homemade rerouting tool and threaded it with the yarn and then just rerouted the whole head. Then I made some face modifications per my sister's request, so I made 4 of her dimples with my Dremel bit. So the first round of blushing for the face you can't even see because my head was in the way the whole time. Or you can't see because it's in the bottom of the frame again. Then I just made sure to blush the dimples because I wasn't liking how they were looking so far. So at this point, I just decided that it would be easier if I just put the head on the doll by widening the neck hole. So now it's time to redo the whole eye look. So I just started out with a brown this time just so I could see a little bit better. And then I went in with my green. I redid her eye look like maybe 3 or 4 times. I didn't want to show you guys all of it because it would make the video really long, but I was struggling. Then I went with my lime light green, so then I was able to ombre them out with like a olive color for the outer edge ring in between the lightest and the darkest colors. And then I added my pupil and I used the black. It looks a little funky because I had to add some MSC to be able to add that color in again to pack in that pastel pencil. But then I just kind of went over the lining again so I didn't lose that. And oh my gosh, I don't know what happened here, but this pencil broke and it took like I want to say 13 sharpens to get it pointy again. It just kept breaking and breaking and breaking. This pencil ended up so small, so I'm gonna have to order another pack just in case I ever need this color again. At this point, I feel like my brain was not comprehending how to make her look like she was high. So I had to erase a couple of times, and then I finally just made her eyes sit lower, which is exactly what I was supposed to do from the beginning. But it just wasn't looking right, so here we are, trying again and again and again. So I just did some final touches here with the eyes, just adding some gray to make it look more realistic. I added a little bit of pink to the whites of the eyes, and then I'm going to be working on the lashes. This is a real representation of how slow I am when I do my lashes for the dolls. I'm so tedious because I want to make sure that I'm doing it right, because one wrong stroke is going to make me want to erase the whole thing. So honestly, I take my time. But all we have to do left is the eyelashes, the eyebrows, then lipstick, and then we do some freckles for her because my sister did want some freckles. And then that is it for the face up. I definitely forgot to mention this step, but I did some baby hairs on her as well. I added the whites of her eyes. So then I added some face jewelry and some earrings. So my sister has a couple of nose piercings, but we just did one just not to clutter her face. Then I used some super glue. It's jewelry glue. And then I added that to make sure that her hoops would stay in place. And I did make these hoops with some wire. I just wrapped it around a couple of pencils, different sizes, to see which one I liked best. Then I just added the 2 studs on her ears, and then that was it for the face up. So this is what the end is looking like for her face up. And now it's time to move on to the body. So now it's time to finally take off her head wrap, and then I looked to see if there was any finishing touches that I needed to do just to make sure that there was no original pigment of her color on still. So I just did that with some pastels. I didn't seal it with an MSC just because I didn't want to get her hair messed up again. And then I was able to wrap her so then we can get ready for the body. Then I just sanded her underwear line and any imperfections to make sure that I could get a clean base for my epoxy. It was time to glue her in her final pose so then I can start on the epoxy and sealing her joints. I didn't do a very good job of filming, so here I am just showing you guys the first layer of epoxy. This is after it's dried, and then I'm going to work on the next layer. So time for some body modifications. So my sister wanted some bigger bosoms, so here I am trying to do that for the first time. Now, I will never lie and say something was easy when it wasn't. This was hard for me. I'm not sure if it's because the epoxy was so close together or what, but it did take me a long time to finally get the shape right. So I took a break from the epoxy just to let everything dry, and now I'm working on her fingers. So I wanted her fingers to be holding the shape of like she's smoking a joint or a cigarette. And I did end up using some resin in her creasing to make sure that her fingers were a little bit closer and easier to access to stick them together. Then I just put it back on her arm, and then she was ready to be glued in her place for her arm positioning. I didn't end up showing how I made these little marijuana leaves, but I did end up just making them on her boobs in general. It was way easier to sculpt them on than trying to lift them off this saran wrap and then placing them. So I just wanted to show you guys my first method, but we did end up doing a different method in the end. I thought it would be easier to sand her first before I did apply the leaves. So this is me sanding her with like a little method that I came up with, but then we ended up putting on the leaves after this. And it was a little bit difficult for some reason. Like I feel like it wasn't sticking very well, but then it ended up working. And so I just covered the rest of her joints. I'm not going to show you all of it because it's kind of long, but yeah, so that's what we did next. And if you do realize my nails change a lot, is because I'm a nail tech on the side. So to do the leaf design, I ended up using a X-Acto knife, and I just kind of tried to just freehand the way that I thought that it would look. So my head is in the way, so don't mind that, but I will show you guys what it looks like. I hate this angle that I did, but this is just me painting the whole doll pink, so then I have a good base to work on when I start blushing. Just to add a little bit more blushing color, I added some green just to make it look like she kind of was touched by earth a little bit. So here's me adding some green. The lighting's a little off, so it looks a little bit more limey, but I did add it all over her joints as well. I wanted her joints to look like she had buds growing out of them or just like shake. So I took some fake shrubbery that I got on Amazon and I started gluing it to the sides of her joints, and so this is what you guys are going to see me doing. So I made my wings the exact same way I made them the last video by Cat Million Studios method. And then I just kind of made them a little funky because I wanted them to look like they were sitting a little lower, hanging down, like she's tired, calm. Then I just cured each side. And this time I wanted to try something new with the design, so I added like these streaky lines and then I cured them, and then they kind of looked cool at the end. We'll come back to the finished product for the wings, but here I took some pictures. Then you will see me do that, and all of this was kind of like a whim. I did not have this planned exactly how I wanted to do it, so it was all by trial and error. So if you've seen a bong before, they have a spot available for a bowl. So I took my Dremel and I made some indentations in it to make a opening so I could put the bowl and the pipe through. Then I was able to make it look more bong shaped, and then I also made some holes in the middle and the side so she's able to sit on the side, and then the middle is for the long mouthpiece area. Then you will see me do that, and all of this was kind of like a whim. I did not have this planned exactly how I wanted to do it, so it was all by trial and error. For the main mouthpiece pipe, I took a plastic bottle and then just used that. I cut it so with an X-Acto knife, so then I was able to just implement that into the bong without having to make my own pipe. Then to make the bowl, I took my funnel from my resin kit, and then I just sculpted around it with the resin, and then I cured it, and then I was able to pop the funnel out, and then that was my bowl that I made. Then I coated each of the holes with some resin, so then I was able to place the pipes into them, and then I'll show you guys the finished product. This is what the fake bong is looking like, and then you see with a bowl, I put that in there just so you guys can see what it's going to look like. So I also made a base for this stand. It's just a bunch of layers of resin together, just globbed. I didn't want to make it pink because I felt like it would be just too much pink. So here we are just putting it on there. I was rubbing it around just to make sure it was coated enough. And then I will show you guys what the base looks like. This is the fake bong, and I did have a drip in the resin, but I kind of feel like it just makes it more realistic to how I made it handmade. It doesn't look perfect, but she is needing a couple of coats of resin around just to make it look a little more crystally. So just this is what we're working with, and then we're gonna work on the doll's hair. I took the doll out of her plastic wrap so then I could begin working on the hair. I started with parting the doll's hair down the middle. Then I took 2 face framing pieces out per my sister's request. So my sister wanted curly hair to resemble her for her doll. So I took an awl and I put it in a straightener to make it hot, and then I wrapped the yarn hair around it, and I did it for the whole head. Then I did basically a curly cut, which is where you take the ends of the hair, make the shape better for curly hair, and then I styled it. So I'll show you guys the result for the hairstyle, but before I do that, so I made a drill in the fake bong so I could place her, and then I kind of fixed her hair to make it easier for me to work with since she was hard to hold while doing her hair. So here I'm just adding some fake marijuana like shake on the bong to make it look like she's sitting on a cushion. So I tried wire, but I ended up having to use like a really large toothpick because the wire was too flimsy to hold her up. So you see me trying to place her, the glue wasn't holding. I tried so many different glues, super glues, everything, hot glue. I ended up using resin actually and curing her to it, and that worked way better. So then I added some finishing touches to like the cushiony area of her. And then after I did that, I actually painted her nails red because my sister threw in at a last minute that she wanted the nails to be a color, so we did red. I also realized when I was painting her toes there was a small chip in the paint, but that was not a problem for me. I just decided that I was going to take a little bit of the shake that I had left and just place it over it like it didn't even happen. So finally back to the hair. So here you're just gonna see me fluffing out her hair, giving her some volume, trying to get the shape right. I did pull some pieces to the front of her just to add some different look to her so she doesn't have a static hairstyle. So the hairstyle my sister did want was a half up, half down with 2 space buns. And then she always does these little clips in her hair, in her IRL hair. So I decided to take these little shake bud things I made. I kind of like glued some shake together and rolled it in a ball. And I took those and made them like they were clips. So then I put those in front of the space buns you'll see in this next clip. And then just to make it look like she had like a clip in her hair, to just make it have something with it besides it just being space buns. Finally, here's the finished look for the hairstyle. So it was now time for me to make my little items that I made for the stands, for her to hold, and for the base. So you guys will see me doing that. So here I made fake blunts. I think I made about 3 or 4 of them, so you guys see me make that. I put some wire in some rolling paper, and then I just stuffed the sides of the blunts to make it look like it was packed, because it would be really hard to roll such a small joint or blunt or cigarette. So I just tried to make something to make it look like it was resemble that. Now I feel like this is a funky way of kind of doing this, but I took sandpaper, and there's a brand called Raw where it's like rolling papers. I wanted to make a tiny version of that, so I did that with some sandpaper. I just made a box, like a 3D box, and then I wrote on top of that. So I decided to make a marble rolling tray with like a dark green and a white, and so I'm just mixing it with resin, and I just swirl it around just to make the marble effect. And then once I was done with that, I took some wire just to make the rolling tray handles, and then I'll show you guys them when I'm placing it. Now it's just time for me to assemble everything. So here I am, drop of glue, but we're placing that on her. The rolling tray is gonna be on the stand, so I decided to put the rolling papers on her lap. So here I'm doing that. I placed her fake blunt in her fingers like she's smoking it. Then I secured the bowl with resin. I did also pack the bowl already with the fake weed as well. Then I just cured it to make sure it was in place. And then I apologize again, my head was in the way, but I was hot gluing all of the fake buds and nuggets to the base, and then the rolling tray and the fake blunts as well. Here you can also see like the fake nuggets I used from Amazon. I did also spray them previously with some darker green so they weren't so vibrant, like limey color, so they were changed a little bit. So I'm just gonna place my final fake blunt, and then I'm gonna show you guys the base. I did do a blunt that looks like it was smoking and on fire, but I didn't film that, unfortunately, so you will see it when I rotate the base. But then after that, I did place her wings, and then I'll show you guys the end result. Okay, it's finally time to show y'all guys the final look. I hope you guys enjoyed the video.